Okay, I'm gonna try to invite Allison to... I have no idea how to do this. Okay. Just waiting for Allison to join. Okay. Okay, just... Yeah, it's not really working. Oh, because I sent you an invitation, I guess. Let me see. Again. I sent you an invitation. Yay! Yay, finally. Hey.
How's it going?
I'm tired. I'm always tired.
8 o'clock over there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been a
That's
while.
nice.
I've seen you for a while.
Yeah. I know. I'm looking at the bags under my eyes.
I can't see them.
It's glasses day today.
Yeah. For now. We'll see. I got my this ready to go.
Oh, I have. I don't know if you can see all of this. All kinds of stuff over here. And my Lemurian crystal. That's my favorite. And my amethyst.
Yep, gotta have that.
And this. This has been... Shells carry consciousness. This actually helped me today with a reading I did for somebody. I had this on me, and it really helped.
Oh, wow. To help ground in this.
Let me see. Okay, my volume is all the way up. In the beginning of these things, it's always like, oh, can I hear you? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, somebody's saying something. What's this? Heal yourself, heal humanity. I was thinking of you yesterday because I went on a bike. Is that... Are you talking to Allison or to me?
Ow! Pixel! God, my cat just bit me. What are you...
Why?
He's playful. He wants me to play with him. A little love bite. Hey, pay attention to me. God.
Yeah. Where's Edgar?
He's right on his little couch.
For the people who don't know, that are watching and they have no idea who Edgar is, he's a Lyran feline magician that is now in disguise as a cat.
Yeah, he never felt human. Like, like the first visions I saw when I got him when he was a little itty bitty little kitten is I saw like a huge red dragon. And I was like, and every time I kept looking at him, I kept seeing a dragon. I'm like, you're not a cat. You're just not a cat. And he doesn't act like a cat. He's like a dragon dog cat.
I'm on this chair moving around because I don't know. It's just weird. There's weird energy just all around lately. I haven't really set a topic for this. Well, I kind of like, we're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. Atlantis, probably, Lemuria, Ascension, just all kinds of stuff in general. But we haven't talked in a while. When was the last time that... Well, we talk every day, we text every day, but we haven't really talked in a long time.
Yeah, like face to face. Skin to skin, like Moon says. Bone to bone. For
the people that are not on TikTok, you have to... Oh my God. Yeah. She's,
There's this TikTok account we follow, and it just cracks us up. She's so
oh my God. Yeah, she's hilarious.
some good laughs.
Ha ha ha. Yeah, I actually started a TikTok account to promote my like spiritual stuff, and then it ended up just being funny, and I just started using it for cat and dog videos and just weird stuff.
Yeah. I go in there for that and like haunted house things. They walk around the houses,
Mm.
the history of them. There's this one woman on there who cleans up old gravestones from like the 1800s, and she like does all this research on the people, like whose gravestone she's cleaning, and she like shares the stories. Like there's some really interesting stuff out there.
Yeah, and well, I don't know why, but I always have mermaid stuff pop up and like the bottom of the ocean. But well, the bottom of the ocean, we know, well, I know, you know, from the regression I had with you, are portals to other dimensions. And then there's always these TikTok videos of people saying, "Oh, why isn't the government going down all the way to the bottom of the ocean? What are they hiding?" It's portals. They're
Yeah.
portals to other planets.
Oh yeah. And dimensions, all I'm guessing all kinds of shit.
Mhm.
Like I actually want to talk to you about that. I did this Akashic Records meditation two nights ago, and I like got some answers to like stuff I'm doing now. But like that made me remember I used to go into the Akashic Records all the time. I just never did it for like other people or anything, but I always did it for myself. And I'll never forget one time I was like I was guided and I was laying on the floor, just straight laying, and I had like the knowing to come to me to open up all my chakras. And as I kept opening all of them, once it got to the crown, I heard like a click, like a something click in place, and it opened. And then I saw, I don't remember which lifetime it was, but like this lifetime just came over me, and I was able just to see all this stuff. Didn't know what to expect. I was just guided to sit
Mhm.
there, open all of them. And I used to like be obsessed with the Akashic Records. Like that's where you go when you see like past lives and stuff. But like doing that meditation just reignited in me again. I'm like, oh yeah, like I used to do that, and then I forgot. I get so used to like my 3D world, and like I haven't been doing it like that. And I was like, I used to do that shit. I remember, because the Akashic Records isn't just for your past lives. It's future timelines. It's all possibilities, all
Mhm.
parallel lives. Like you can literally
Yeah,
tap
time
into
doesn't exist.
anything.
Time is an illusion. Because I even said that in the reading that I did today for this person. I said there because lately I've been getting a lot of people with like really deep soul trauma, like trauma that comes up. Like I don't know, it's the energy maybe now that a lot of this trauma is coming up,
Oh yeah.
so that people can transmute it now. And I was telling this person in the reading that in a past life they had something very traumatic happen, like really traumatic, that scarred their soul and for lifetimes until this lifetime now.
Oh yeah.
And I was explaining you can go into the Akashic records. It's a timeless zone where time is just non-existent, and you can go to that lifetime and heal the stuff that happened and overwrite it, just write a whole different ending, and you will
Yeah.
heal this lifetime, the stuff, because it's still affecting you in this lifetime, and you can heal it. When you
Yep.
heal it in that lifetime, you heal it on all levels. You heal it in all lifetimes. You heal it in all dimensions, all realities.
Yep. And that
Yeah.
timeline now exists. So now you're just tapping into that timeline that you yourself created, which we're constantly creating 24/7 anyway. But if you learn how to tap into it, you can just adjust and tweak stuff as you go all the time. And I think it's really important for people to understand that, to like remember that. Like the Akashic Records are there for everyone. And I watched, I think it was like a talk or something. They said that, oh, it was Edgar
There's a
Casey.
cat behind you.
Yeah, we got three of them. So that's Widget. And there he's gone. But what was I gonna say? Oh, they're saying that this is in one of Edgar Casey's books, that once humanity gets to a point where they're aware of the Akashic Records and what they are, we're gonna like have that tipping point, and where the energy starts shifting and where we move into like that timeline that we all speak of all the time. It's once the collective is aware of it, because it's a constantly living, breathing thing. Like Earth is a living, breathing thing. So is the Akashic Records. Every time we create thoughts or ideas or perceptions, there's another like parallel lifetime to it, and it's all lives in the Akashic Records. So if we remember that Akashic Records exist and we try to tap in, the more people that tap into it, the more we're going to tip the scales and like shift the frequencies of Earth.
Like who says that? Debbie Solaris, the lady that I took my Galactic Akashic Records course with. Well, she said in one of her things on Gaia TV, she says, I live in the Akashic Records for about 65% of the time. And I was like, yeah, me too. I'm like always just going in and out of the records, just doing dishes. I'm just doing dishes. Okay, I'm in another lifetime. Like folding laundry. Okay, in another lifetime. It's all just overlapping. I'm at this level now where all these, because the thing is, we have all these different personalities that are parts of our soul, these incarnations, and they're all living parallel next to each other. And we can tap into all of these different personalities, and they can be our spirit guides. We can be our own spirit guides.
Yep.
And that's what I love telling people too when I do coaching with them or readings. I tell them you can be your own spirit guide, like all these people behind me, like half of them are me in another body. So, and I can, if they have a field of expertise and I know, oh, that's that person's field of that's all my stuff, my knowledge, all the stuff that I know inside of me. But it's easy to connect to that other version of you if you need extra help, because they can guide you.
That's why I did my meditation. I like went to a different lifetime where I was not afraid to like be fit and like in good shape, because like I have a huge block for that. Like it's my safety, and to me I feel safer if I'm a little thick, and so I've been using it for safety, and it's like an internal battle. It's like I want to be fit and healthy, and the other part of me is like, but then you won't be safe. So I tapped into a lifetime where I was safe and I felt good being fit and healthy, and she gave me like tips and pointers on like what she was doing. I was like, what do you do in your day? Like, what's your day look like? What can I tweak in my life? I can mirror that, because that possibility is already in existence somewhere, and all I have to do is tap into her, because it's me. And then I got all these like downloads, and I actually passed out and I went to sleep for the night. And then I woke up and I'm like, okay, cool, got it. Like a download came in, and
it's the same like this guide over there. That's my Syrian spirit guide. And she is in control of my emotions, regulating my emotions. Wow. And I was sitting on the couch. I first met her in 2017. I'm sitting on the couch, and there's two people arguing. Like, oh no, I really don't like being in between these two people that are arguing, because I'm highly sensitive. I'm sensing all of their emotions, and they're getting more and more upset. I'm sitting there like feeling myself getting upset and like absorbing their emotions like a sponge. And then suddenly this guide comes in, and she's like, I'm regulating your emotions, and like telling me all this stuff. And then later I found out that she's basically just another version of me. So then I learned, okay, like when I'm feeling overwhelmed, I just call upon her, and I know that that part of me will assist me with my emotions.
Yes. And you know what thought I've had too is that, like, you know, in Atlantis, we weren't dumb. We went to our future lifetimes and like instilled shit. Like, you're going to remember this. And like, we had knowledge of this way back when. So I bet you more than anything, we went to the future, to maybe this lifetime or other future, like lifetimes even more in the future, and like put imprints or did something to help us remember. Because like we knew, like we had way advanced technology that we probably can't even comprehend right now. And I bet you we went to the future and talked to us now, and then we can easily tap back into there.
And that's what we're waking up to now. We're all remembering all of this stuff now, and that's with Dolores Cannon's books too. That she's talking to Nostradamus in his time. He's aware of Dolores Cannon in the future, and Dolores Cannon. So they were in the Akashic records where time doesn't exist, and they were just talking to each other. But then when we go translate that to our reality, we have I don't know, 1500 something where he lived and 1900 something where she lived, and they're talking like through different times.
Like on a
But they're just
look
talking
up.
through the Akashic records.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really interesting. And like, because she said sometimes he would see people as like orbs, or like he would just get a sense that they're there. And that's really interesting too. Like, I wonder, God, it would be nice to go back there. I made a podcast about it before, but like when I was younger, when I was just reading this stuff in my early 20s, I tried to go and talk to him, and he'd get really annoyed, like swatting me away, because I don't know if I like came in as like a little lightning bug or something, but he was like, get out of here. Like, he sends me in there, and he like asked me to leave, and I was like, okay, bye. I didn't like, I was reading those books. I was like, I want to do that. But like, you know, now I'm more mature and you have to ask permission and stuff. But when I was younger, I was just
Yeah.
like, tell me, I want to learn. Like, can I sit in on your class? And he's like, hell no, because I don't know who the hell you are. Like, I don't know what you're gonna use
Yeah.
this information for. Because like, he's my favorite. Like, those books are my
Yeah, that's
absolute favorite.
Dolores Cannon. I love her. Yeah, I told you I had a dream. I had a few dreams about Dolores Cannon a few years ago. I felt like she was like mentoring me or something, like telling me it's okay. I'll help you in your dream time.
She
And
would
then I
come.
had a few readings where I actually saw her as like a professor in Atlantis teaching about frequency and hypnosis.
Oh yeah.
And I can totally see her do that. She would have totally been in Atlantis.
Oh, I bet you more than anything she was. And I've had.
You were probably in her class too.
Oh yeah, that's probably how like you and I met. I really genuinely think she brought you and I together, even though it was over like my silver hair. But like,
Yeah.
you know, it's gonna lead to something else. We're gonna eventually talk about this stuff, especially if that's what your page is.
Yeah,
on,
yeah, that's
Akashic Records.
the first comment I made was about your hair. And then I found out you were a hypnotherapist.
And then
And
Dolores
then
Cannon.
then you wanted a reading for Edgar, a cat
That's
reading.
right. That's right.
And I did a reading for Edgar. Yeah.
My kitty, cat, dragon, dog.
Mm-hmm. And then I did another reading for you, and I saw you and Edgar were brother and sister and super amazing badass Lyrans.
Yeah, I was talking to Chris about that. I was like, I treat him like he's like my little baby, and I like smother him and kiss him up. And she's like, he probably hates it because you're like his sister. And he's like, God, stop it, because he remembers. But to
He
me,
made the
like
choice. That was his choice. He decided to
baby.
come in as a cat. That was his decision.
He like, I swear to God, he teleports. Like, I see him in one corner of the room, and I'm looking at him, and next thing I know, he's somewhere else, and I didn't see him walk by me. I'm like, am I going crazy? Am I making it up? Is he teleporting? I don't know. He's not a regular cat. He's not like the others. Like the other two cats are like regular cats. They do cat things. He just does not feel like a cat at all. Besides, like that, he looks like one.
Yeah, he's kind of a special one.
I think he is. And your dog.
That's like Barney, my dog. He's retarded, but well, he's also psychic. He is because because he will bark all the time. But when I want to do something serious, like I'm getting ready to do a reading for somebody, he was on the floor and he was just laying there and he didn't bark once.
Yeah.
During the whole like 45 minutes that I was channeling the message for this person, he was just laying there on the floor by me and he didn't bark. Yeah.
I was actually,
he could
before I hopped on here, I had a vision of how that, like, because I was going to talk to you about the Akashic Records, and I saw a vision that you're always in there. I'm like, that's how she's like, because you're an experienced channeler, like that is your code, like you are here to do that. And so when you're channeling, you're just like boop, and you're like, you open up a little portal and you pop in there. And for me, I put myself in a trance, and I like have to put myself in a trance in that deep state, and then like I access it. But I've only accessed it for myself. I've never tried for other people. I don't know that. I just don't think that's my gift in life. For me, I think I open up a space and the person goes through by themselves to have their own experience. Like that's just not my talent. Like that would be a cool talent to have, honestly. Like that's so cool. It's probably exhausting though, going in and seeing all the stuff, feeling the things for the people, and then having to write it out. Like to me,
yeah, it is.
like,
that's why I have to break it up in in like 2 or 3 days, because like on day one, I'll do the channeling. Like I'll get the whole message, I'll type it all up, but then I have to like take a break when I get
Yeah.
the whole message, and I take a break because I'm working like I'm opening my channel and somebody else's energy is coming through. But then after that, I'm really tired and I need to drink and eat or do something grounding. And something grounding doesn't have to be some kind of elaborate like thing. But in my case, it was folding laundry, like stuff like that. So I go and do something like that and I eat. And then a few hours later, then I go back and I tune in again to that person's essence, and I see if there's any more that wants to come through. And yeah, then I'll just kind of do a chakra scan. Like I'll connect to their energy and their chakra system and see which blocks they have and how it's related to past lives.
Yeah, that's
And
sick.
then I just kind of break it up in 2 or 3 days, and then I send them the whole thing. And yeah.
Yeah, it's really powerful because like, and then when you hold the picture, like if you get the portrait, like it's a whole nother layer. And like when you were tapping into mine and I could see you tapping in, I saw how you were like what you were doing to get into my energy, because I obviously gave permission, but I could see it. And I was like, that's fucking amazing. And then I saw that you get the next layer of downloads with the picture when you're looking at it, because the
Mhm.
energy that's coming through you is coming through your hands onto like through the art. So then you actually tap into that timeline by touching that art, because that is linked to the energy you were in as you're doing it.
Mhm.
You're transferring that energy
Yeah.
onto paper. It's really awesome.
Yeah, and when I'm painting too, I can see that certain lines carry certain
Yeah.
like codes and stuff. Yeah,
Information,
I keep
energies.
looking. I keep looking over there because that's the last portrait I made, and I'm just looking at it right now because it's just
You want to
just
share
right
about
there.
it?
Wait,
Maybe
let
once
me
we
let me
eventually go.
show. Because this I feel like this is really carrying a lot of activations. See? Did you see this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this really carries a lot of activations, and that is the way it is with the portraits. But yeah, I don't really get a lot of, well, I get a few people here and there, like maybe 2 out of 10 want a portrait and a
Oh, wow.
reading and the whole thing. And then most of the people just want a regular Akashic Records read, well, the blueprint reading.
Oh, what?
But yeah, I, do,
Oh,
I still go into a lot of detail, and
oh yeah.
then sometimes they'll want the portrait anyway because they're like, wow, I got this really detailed reading, and you're describing my higher self, and it's like 7 pages long. But now I'm curious to see what they look like, so a lot of the time people will still want a portrait later.
Yeah. I can't imagine not having the portrait. Like it's, to me, it's like the full complete thing. I want that picture. I want to see me. I want to connect to it. And it just, I can't wait to frame mine. We move in like 4 months or something. I'm going to frame it up. I'm going to put it in my office. It's going to be beautiful. And then the reading that you did for my fiance was really dope too. Like it made
Yeah.
so much sense. It was like next level information. And me and him were shocked, but not really, because we knew something like that. We just didn't know what it was. And when you saw that, we're like, no, that makes all the sense. That's him.
Yeah, for the people that have no idea who that is, I made a video about it. It's the battery star seeds, I called it, or solar fractals.
Mm-hmm.
They're basically star seeds, and I had never heard of it before. They're star seeds that are parts of basically stars or suns, or yeah, and they've never really been physical on any planet or in a star system. Like you have Pleiadian star seeds, Andromedans, Lyrans, whatever, all these different star seeds. But then there are the solar fractals. They're basically, they still exist because time doesn't exist. So they are basically their highest physical form that they have is a sun in this universe or parallel universe, and they send a piece of their consciousness here, and they go through a portal, the Antares portal, and that is the portal that connects this galaxy to the Andromeda galaxy, which is the neighboring galaxy. And then there are more portals that go to other universes, because we live in a very big multiverse. So there are unlimited suns and stars, planets, universes. And yeah, so they can go down, it's like levels. You go down a level in consciousness, so they send a little piece of their big consciousness through the levels, through the portals and the gateways, basically all the way down to our galaxy. And then they incarnate here as these battery star seeds, because they are literally solar energy in a human body. They're like solar panels for other star seeds.
That's a good
That's what they are.
analogy. The solar panel.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what he is.
So
He like
yeah,
generates...
he's basically your solar panel or battery pack or something, like an extra battery pack.
He generates all this really like positive energy all the time, and it's like we clearly partnered up together because he's not from here and I've been here freaking forever, and he's bringing in all these high energies, and I'm here doing like the actual work that I've been doing, clearing karma and stuff, because he doesn't have to clear karma. Like, I don't think he
No,
has
because he's never been here before.
And we both knew he's never been here, and that made so much sense. It's like, where does he get all this from? Like, I don't know how to describe it. And like, it's interesting though, because when we met, it felt like we knew each other forever. So like, that's interesting how we've known each other from before, because you said it was like on the Andromedan galaxy or something.
Let me think.
I've reread it like 3 times.
When you were doing your galactic traveling, because I met you when you were a Lyran refugee, and we met in Andromeda, and Andromeda is basically a school for the Akashic Records, for working with the Akashic Records.
That makes sense.
And that is where I assisted you, and then you decided to travel on to other star systems, galaxies, and you did a whole lot of traveling, and you ended up in his part of the multiverse. That's where he was the solar being. He was basically the solar entity that was powering this star system, or this star or planet. And you were spending time there, and you were connecting with his energy, and he always liked you because you were there traveling and assisting other people. And then when he decided to volunteer, because that's what happened, and then there was this call put out for volunteers, and it reached that far into the multiverse that even the solar entities, basically the suns of that universe, decided to contribute with their essence and send little fractals of themselves down to Earth. And then they had to pass through the Akashic Records, and I saw it in I saw this whole scene, like some kind of airport almost, or a place where people were meeting up and they were matched. They were all being matched. And you and him, you recognized each other and you were matched, because he said, it's basically like, I don't know anybody here, like this new kid in school, and he didn't know anybody, and you're like, hey, I remember you, okay, let's partner up for Project Earth.
It's I'm gonna cry right now. That it feels so true. And you know how crazy it is, because it's at this time. He could have come here at any time, but it's during this time, and all these people are having mass.
Yeah, and that shows you just how important this time is. If beings that have no business being here, he has no business being. He doesn't have to be here.
He's a sun. He's fine. Shining his light out there. God knows where out there, but he chose to be here now. That tells me a lot.
Yeah. And he's here to also assist you. So these battery star seeds, they choose star seeds that have a lot of baggage, so that they don't have to carry it all on their own, so that you can do your mission in a more fluid way, effortlessly, and he is basically a battery pack that is powering you and giving you extra energy so that you can do your mission.
Yes.
That's what came out of that reading. And that portrait was the sun. It was just, yeah, I wish I could show it, but anyway, just go on my Instagram if you want to see what it looks like. It's this big sun in space, like dark blue space. Yeah, and I had no idea, like, how am I supposed to make a portrait of somebody that is a sun? But then this image popped up, just this bright ball of gas, a sun, just that's the image. I said, okay, that's it. I'm just gonna go with that image.
Yeah, and he got it. He just sitting there looking at it for like 10 minutes, just like, because
but I think it did resonate with him too.
Oh yeah, and like I've given him a past life before, and all he was able to see was like an airport looking thing, and everything was white and had long tunnels, and like
that's what I thought.
Like a portal thing or something. And he had he asked, why is he the only one here? Like he feels like he got dumped here and abandoned, and the rest of his family.
Because he was the only one of his kind. Yeah. He was the only one of his. It's like being the only European person in Chinese airport or something. You're there and they're like, okay, I don't belong here.
Yeah. And all he saw was like a few blurry lights, like shadowy, not shadow, but like silhouettes that were light. And like he said, when he saw him, he cried, and he actually passed out after the past life regression, took like a 2-hour nap, and like he was crying and stuff, and he doesn't cry. So it was really interesting. And then when you made that portrait with the reading, we're like, oh, that makes all the sense. Like, no wonder you feel like you got dropped off here. And like, he's been visited since.
And I remember, I was blown away. I was completely blown away with the information, because I had never heard of anything like that. It was the first time that I had ever heard of anything like that. Starseeds coming from the sun, or a sun anywhere. Yeah.
So, you know, how many more are like that? And like, where are they? You never know, because we look like regular people doing regular jobs. You never know. You would never know that me is in the Akashic Records all the time, or him who works on like building apps for like phones would be done.
Yeah. It's like all these people that I do readings for. That's why I started with the Akashic story time, because all these people, they're blending in. Nobody thinks anything of them. Like, look at me, I'm just some lady.
Yeah.
And I'm doing all this crazy stuff, and you wouldn't just look at me and say, oh, you're an Akashic Records traveler, cosmic portal hopper, and always just time traveling. You wouldn't say that. You
wouldn't know. You wouldn't know just by looking. No. But like, look at all of us, and look at the stuff we do that nobody even knows. Like, that's the beautiful.
Or look at, or look at Chris. She's just talking to unicorns and dragons all the time. Like, you wouldn't. She's just a mom. She's a mom living in just a normal neighborhood.
You would never suspect. And I think that's the other thing we're going to talk about, is how like this reign of like this old tech and this old way of living, it's like it's just ending, and we're just watching it. The last pieces, you know, turn to dust, and now we're here to do new stuff and bringing new energies, and basically it's old energies too, because you're bringing the ancient information, the ancient knowledge, the ancient technology we're all remembering. And Dolores Cannon said that too. She said there's going to be a time where stuff is going to be unearthed. There's going to be like 3 things that become unearthed. Something in the Sphinx paw is going to be revealed. Something about dinosaurs, and something about one of the oceans, I think she said. And at that same time, all these people are going to start getting access to all this information. They're going to start remembering the ancient ways, and it's going to become the future. And like, all at that same time is when it's gonna happen. And I think we're definitely like, I think we're like in the middle. Like, we're like 10 years ago, we wouldn't be having this conversation on like live.
No. No, I was already doing this stuff, well, kind of 10 years ago, but I was very lonely, because I was doing this when I was a kid. I was channeling when I was 15, and nobody was doing this. I was just on my own, And I wasn't talking about it because I didn't have anyone to talk about
Right.
this stuff. Like my mom, yeah, I could talk to my mom, but I couldn't talk to anybody my age about this.
No, it's
So,
like a whole different vibrational like reality that you have to be in to even get access to that. Because a lot of
mhm.
people,
And
like,
now everyone is finding each other again. Now it seems like all these people that were in past lives together, they're all finding each other again.
yep.
It's like how I found you, I found a few other people. We're all just kind of connecting again.
And Chris and I, because she was guarding the Lyran like portal over there, and like when I gave her the past life, and she got real emotional because she's like, "Damn, I remember that portal, and like we failed, like it's
Mm.
destroyed, but it's like there's nothing you could have done. Like it was it was what it was. It was just a really bad war." And you know, I still have blocks. I can't really see it. I've tried to tap into that lifetime, and besides what you like tapped into in my Akashic records, I cannot see it. My mind will not let me see it. I could see it as I'm
Yeah,
breathing,
then it's not
as I'm
time yet.
breathing
That's the
through.
thing with the Akashic records too. They're only going to reveal what you are ready to
Yeah.
see. Because like with your first reading, when I did your guide's portrait, not much came forward about your personal history, but then later, when I did the second reading, a whole lot of stuff came forward,
Mm-hmm.
like a year later or something. And then I was kind of mad. I said, why didn't any of this stuff come forward earlier when I did your first reading? But then they told me, well, because the time wasn't right.
Right.
And I've had that happen with other people where I've done readings 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, and new stuff, new puzzle pieces keep being added because it was building onto the previous
Yep.
information.
And it's like that past life
Mm-hmm.
regression too. Like if you're not meant to see something, you can try all you want. It's not going to come out. And if anything, it's going to pop you out of that state. You just have to go with the flow and be open to whatever is going to show itself. And what I find is most times if people have never had a past life regression before ever, the first one they'll see is the very last lifetime. And that was the case
Yeah.
for me too. Like the very first lifetime I saw was the very last one because it's the one I'm closest connected to. And man, so many synchronicities happened when I saw that. But that's definitely the case with that too. If you're not meant to see it, you can't force it out. And I feel like I'm probably not ready because if I was to see what happened on Lyra, I'd be really angry, and I don't have full control of my anger yet. So like, I should probably
I saw it.
not
I
access.
saw it when I did your reading, and then I was able to tell you because I saw everything, and then I told you. But yeah, that's the thing with these readings. I see all of the stuff that happened to everybody, and yeah, and it's starting to get a little difficult for me to stay neutral and because I'm so empathic, so I immediately
Yep.
get sucked into this. I'm in there. I'm like seeing all of this, but I'm not only seeing it, I'm feeling the emotions of everybody. And lately I've started, that's something new that's only like started happening the last couple of weeks. I will physically feel what's happening.
Oh wow.
I never, yeah,
Like
like
in your body.
I had somebody that I did a reading for 3 days ago, and they had like a really big throat issue.
Huh.
And I saw what happened, that they got strangled to death. And I was typing, and I felt like I couldn't breathe, like my throat was being closed off.
Oh
And
wow.
then this other person that had something really bad happen, like to their like private parts.
Right.
And I felt a whole bunch of pain in my like in that area, and like
Hmm.
cramps. Yeah, and then like I started realizing, okay, I'm feeling these people's like pain like manifesting in my body. And well, I'm doing that Aramaic course, that Aramaic Wisdom of Light. But yeah, I was like, oh, I guess it'll be cool. We'll learn some Aramaic, like ancient language. We can go like decipher the Bible. It'll be fun. Like,
Right.
I'm just gonna enroll for this class. It'll be fun. But it's super intense. It's
Yep.
super like I feel that when I use these words that we're learning in this course, that I'm calling upon these really ancient frequencies.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I feel like when I say these words that we're learning, then I feel the energy shift completely, and it like transmutes anything that is not of that high frequency. So what I've been doing now with when I tune into the Akashic Records, what I do is before I start, I'll start saying some of these phrases that we've learned. And I can feel that anything that is not of the purest light is just gone. It's just gone. I don't have to do anything else. And then when I come out of the Akashic Records, and I basically just thank the person's higher self, and I try to clear my energy so that I'm not connected to their Akashic Records anymore, and their blocks and their memories. And then I say those phrases again, and it's just like instantly cleared.
Right. Because
so then I realized that, okay, that's probably the reason why I had to do that class, because it's going to help me with my work.
Yes. And that makes sense too, because like energy and frequency, and like when you're speaking, you're emitting frequencies. It's a vibration. And if you're tapping into it once, because why do you think dark magicians speak in ancient Latin? Because it has a certain frequency, because they're invoking those old, they're tapping into those old energies and using it for bad, but you can do it for good too. Like, God, I wonder what they spoke in Atlantis, but like, if you could tap into that kind of stuff.
Light language, probably.
Huh?
Some kind of light language.
Maybe, yeah.
Like that's very similar, probably like Lemuria. Well, Lemuria was telepathic in the beginning, and then they started developing tones. They talked in tones. And like a lot of the Aramaic is also based on these tones and sounds and intonation, and they don't really, like our language is just ridiculous. The way we speak is like barbaric.
It's very barbaric, and we cast spells on ourselves with the words we say. And like when you sit there and you think about it, and you're like, oh, I just killed that plate of food. You just use the word killed. And like, imagine what that's doing. Like, is that a high frequency word? No. Like, if we sit there and think of the words that we're constantly saying, we're creating little spells and webs in our own field by the words we're using. And words are everything. They are the frequency and vibration that like solidifies on this 3D plane. We think it, we feel it, and then we bring it forth through the vibration and through our voice, with our tones, our frequencies, and we are constantly creating. So like, we have to be careful what we're creating. And if you sit there and you're consciously thinking of the way you speak, sometimes I'm like, it'd just be easier if I don't speak, because like, I'm so conditioned with these words. And then when you sit there and you think about them, you're like, man, what am I creating?
This is really being weird. I have to change this. Whatever. I like see my own, some weird reflection in these glasses. It's annoying me.
Yeah, it's the thing with glasses, especially with like a ring light, because then you always see the little bloop.
Yeah, I can't see. I'm blind. I have to wear them. Yeah. This is annoying.
I can't see.
Whatever.
I actually really like those glasses. Those are fun.
Yeah, they're my favorite glasses.
Those are fun. I have to have big ones. The little ones.
I used to always wear contacts, but my eyes got sensitive, so sometimes I have to wear glasses.
Yeah, I can't do that. I put them in once and I couldn't get them out, and it like my eye turned red by the time I like finally got it out. It's just enough. I can't. It's gross. Blech. Blech.
Yeah. I forced myself to just wear them, but I've been wearing them since I was 19.
Oh, wow.
I think. So it's not really healthy to wear them every day, so I wear glasses sometimes.
Yeah, I have to. I can't see without it, but like in the mornings and at night, I'll take it off and I'll just sit here without it. But I can't even see the TV like right in front of me. Like it's just blurry, which sucks.
Yeah. Now I can see something, but it's just annoying. And yeah.
I'm sure there's some kind of healing that exists. Like, I think it's all vibrational. I think vibrational healing is where it's
I think it's just so weird. I'm clairvoyant, but I have to wear glasses. I'm clairaudient, but my right ear does not work properly. Like, what the hell?
The energies
that doesn't make sense.
Because like, think about this. My fiance, right? He was that sun. If he takes off his glasses, he literally can't see right in front of him. And he used to be like a sun, you know? So his energy is probably way too strong for his like human vessel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it Gabriel? Was it George? I mean, that said something about glasses. George, I think, said you can heal. You can heal your eyes in one of his videos, or I can't remember. He said you can basically heal your eyes if you work with the energy of like wanting to see clearly and stuff.
Right. You
Yeah.
can fine tune it, because I remember I used to be obsessed with hearing. So I'd sit there and I'd focus on hearing. I'd close my eyes and just I would hear every tiny little sound. Like if my cat walked across the room, I could hear him like with each little paw, like what's it called? Their little finger touching each little part as they're walking, and I could just hear every little
Mm-hmm.
thing, like the air conditioner. And I was like, because you can tune into it and you can heighten your senses if you just sit there and focus
Getting
on one
dark.
at
I
a
need to
time.
turn some kind of light on. I don't even know where the light switch is over here. Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna find the light switch. I'll be right back.
Anyone want to see my cat? He's so cute. Look at him.
I'm back. I'm back.
There's my baby.
How long have we been recording? Because it's gonna kick us off of here, I think. Oh no, we're okay still.
It keeps going, because the last, like, Chris and I go for 2 hours, and me and Beverly went for like an hour and 55 minutes, and they were still able to post
Oh,
it.
so they changed something then. That's
Yeah, I
good.
think so. I think we can actually keep going.
Just too annoying.
It's
I'm taking them off. I'm blind, but whatever. I can still see you, but I can't see
the
anyone that's
details or
joined.
anything.
Whatever.
What else? I'm reading the description you made. Atlantis and Mu, ascension,
I
DNA.
just put something there. I was just gonna say we're just gonna have a spiritual tangent talk and see
Whatever comes out.
whatever wants to come up. Yeah.
That's my MO. That's how I function. Whatever comes out, comes out. Go for it.
Yeah.
Go with the flow.
But the energies have been intense, and there's a lot of shifts happening for all kinds of people.
Yeah.
I know in your life with your job and all kinds of stuff is shifting. In my life, stuff is shifting. It seems like now is just a time that now you have to choose to either level up and go
Yeah.
with whatever is presenting itself, or you resist everything, and that's gonna end up making things very difficult, I feel.
Because then you're fighting against the current. Like, it's easier to just go with it. Put your hands in the air and just whee,
Mhm.
just go along with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so since yesterday, fiance and I had like weird pains in our neck. And I'm like, this must be ascension. Like, something is up. Like, he's taking a nap right now. He doesn't even nap. And me, I woke up with like horrible pain in my neck. He had pain in his neck. So I'm thinking, and I was looking at the Schumann resonance too, and that was like the light part was off the chain on there. So something's going on. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I can tell that, like, when I just read on Instagram like people's experiences, that they're all like, "Oh my God, what is going on?"
Yeah.
And more people are waking up too. More and more people are awakening to what's really happening. Even people that I would never have
Yeah.
expected to like tell me, "Hey, you were right."
Yep. Or
They're
tell me
now,
more.
or like people talking about manifestation and law of attraction, and like, what? Who are you? You
Or
don't
like,
talk about stuff like like people that I would like that are not at all. I thought were not at all doing any of that, and now they're like, oh yeah, you have to think positive thoughts and you have to use affirmations. I'm like, huh?
not a bad place to start. Yeah. And I've had some friends
Yeah.
that they know I'm into this stuff, but I never push it. I don't talk about it with people if they're not going to talk about it with me. But they know I'm into it, so they ask me questions. They'll be like, "Do you believe in dream interpretations? Could you interpret this dream for me?" And then, or like things like that, or I forgot what she said. Someone asked me if I ever heard of Merkabas and stuff, and I was like, "All right." People are literally coming around to it, and it's people that wouldn't
Mhm.
were not into it even like a year ago. So it's something's definitely happening. And like my sister too, she's not into this kind of stuff. But when I told her about our past life together, she was like, that's interesting. Interesting. She didn't like close it off like, oh, you're stupid or you're crazy. She was just like, interesting. Hmm. So I was like, you were like a doctor before. This is why you're so drawn to being a doctor since you're a little tiny kid. Because like I seen you. You were one back in ancient Rome.
Yeah. Yeah. More and more people are definitely waking up. And yeah, like friends of mine that were not into any of this, they're now like slowly sliding in my DMs like, hey, can I
Yeah.
ask you a question?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
So,
It's
yeah.
interesting.
And we're just
But
here.
yeah, that's why I also don't wanna, that's why for a long time, of course, I didn't want to talk about this. I was not public about, but that's also because I had blocks from past lives,
Yeah.
cultural blocks, all kinds of stuff. And we are the ones that have to work through all these blocks first, and all this trauma, all this
Yeah.
baggage that we still have. We have to clear it first. We have to delete, like, replace all that stuff with higher vibrational energy so that we are clear channels for this higher frequency, and so that we can help others with their journey, on their journey.
Yes. Because we're
And yeah, and that's
emanating.
why that encourages me to just keep on speaking my truth and keep on talking about this, spreading information. And if somebody doesn't like it and they're gonna leave me a stupid comment or send me a weird email, okay, fine. But I get, like, for one stupid email, I'll get 10 really good emails.
Yes.
Like today even I got an email from somebody, and they were saying that I changed their life and I contributed all this. Like, I don't even know this person, and
Yep.
they're taking time out of their day to email me and tell me that I changed their life.
Yep.
That's why I do what I do.
Yes. You never know the impact you have on people. All you can do is just put out your good energy and good intentions and just help people whenever you can. And you just literally never know how you change people's lives, because people have changed my lives and they don't know, because like I don't talk to them anymore, or like maybe I never like actually knew them. Like I didn't know Dolores Cannon, but she changed my life forever.
Yeah.
My life will never be the same.
Yeah, and exactly, and she just that's the thing. She went through her own journey where she's like, well, in this hypnotherapy community, the past life stuff is kind of weird, or the UFO stuff, especially the UFO stuff. She's like, well, I'm kind of the weird one with all the UFO stuff, but I'm just gonna keep on talking about
Yeah.
it because all this stuff is wanting to come out into to the public. And I'm glad she did because yeah, she's definitely meant a lot to me on my journey as well.
Right. And
Mm-hmm.
everyone has a cool thing to bring to the table, because we all have different gifts, and like we all share it together, and we
Mm-hmm.
all, it's our own little way of sharing our perspective, and it comes through different ways, and everyone can tap into the Akashic records and they can look different for everyone. Like some people might look like a library, other people it might look like completely different. Like it just, we all have
For me, it
access to
never
it.
looked like the library. Like people are saying, like that's what I was saying the other day too to somebody. I was saying, you have these official Akashic Records courses, learn to be an Akashic Records reader and all that stuff. And yeah, it's like you said, because I'm a natural Akashic Records reader, that I'm like, okay, I want to see this, and okay, I'm there.
Yes.
But I never saw it as a library. It's more like how you described how you saw me with a portal,
That's
basically.
what I was gonna say, portals. That's what I see as portals.
Mhm.
I bloop in and I bloop out. Like,
Yeah. So basically, yeah, the way I do it is I'll connect to the central sun and to the earth. And then there's this beam of light that connects me. And then because of that beam that is then established, the beam of energy, then a portal opens.
yeah.
And then all the information just comes out of the portal.
Yes.
That's how it happens. This chair is really annoying. Yeah.
Also looking at your that's your unicorn, right? The purple one
Mm-hmm.
behind you. That's
Over
really
there.
powerful. I've been looking at that this whole time we're talking. I'm like, I'm looking at you, but like majority of the time I keep looking at him.
It's a girl.
Oh, it's a girl, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
That's right, because you guys were in battles. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, mine came through this week, and I always want to connect to my dragon because it's fierce and it's tough, and that's me. But like
Yeah,
then
that's the thing.
my
Next time we
unicorn,
have to get Chris to join us too, because I think you can do like a
you can.
3-person Instagram live. Yeah, because that's the thing. I never expected a unicorn reading to be that like to have such an impact. Because
Yes,
she's like, oh, can I do a unicorn reading for you? I'm like, okay, cool, go ahead.
go
Like,
for it.
it'll be fun. Again, it'll be fun getting a unicorn reading. Yeah, I cried for 3 days,
Yeah,
so
and I spontaneously cried. I'm sitting there reading it, I'm just like interesting, okay. And then all of a sudden, I'm like ugly face crying, and I'm like, I don't even know what happened to me. What happened?
yeah.
But like,
Yeah, that was, yeah, because then we have all this help. We have these dragons, we have unicorns, we have galactic spirit guides, we have ancestors, we have past life soul connections, we have spirit animals. Am I
future
forgetting
lives,
something?
future
Yep,
lives,
we have
our
our
higher
own
self.
parallel versions. Yep, we have all this stuff assisting us. And most of these people have no idea that they're going through life with all this assistance.
Yes, because you can't
And
see
yeah, and more people are waking up to all of this, that they have assistance, that their higher self is assisting them. And
Yes,
that's why I have this free course, the course that I put online, because it's really easy, and then people can learn how to work with their higher self or their spirit guides or whatever.
yes, yeah. It's definitely. Oh, I forgot what I was going to say about that. But
I
it's
need my
available to
glasses. I
all of
can't
us.
read. I'm too blind. I need these glasses. Can't see. I tried it. It didn't work. I'm nervous. I need them.
Yeah, yeah, it's all good. I don't see anything. I guess I
Yeah.
do. Yeah, but that assistance is available to anyone.
Annoying.
All you have to do is
Maybe if
tap
I
into
moved it.
energies.
Okay, is this better? A little bit, not really, whatever. Anyway, yeah, that's another thing. Like in the beginning, I was afraid of posting videos or doing stuff online because, oh, what if it's not perfect? What if
Yeah.
I'm not like perfect? People aren't gonna want to work with me, but it's all bullshit because they want to work with you because they see you're also a human being and you're doing normal stuff and you're messing around with the like the phone and trying to not have this weird reflection in your glasses and stuff, you
Yeah.
know?
And yourself. Being authentic
Mm-hmm.
attracts people that are also authentic. And then they tune
Yeah.
into the same frequencies. And
Because we're like in these human bodies, these avatars, and we have to, yeah, that's another thing. We have to balance all this stuff that we know, this metaphysical knowledge that we have with normal life.
yep. Yes, we do.
And for a lot of people waking up to all of this stuff, that's the struggle for most people, how to combine their normal life with their
Dual life.
multidimensional life.
Yeah.
Like, how do you do that? And I remember I've actually always had to combine that and find a way to do that because I've been on this journey for a long time. So it's always kind of been, but then I can't imagine what that's like for somebody that has lived a normal life for like 30 years and then they have
Yes.
like this really big awakening. I have no idea what that's like. That must be really shocking. That must be a big shock.
They're rock stars to be, because that's what I was talking. I forgot who I was talking about it with, but they're like rock stars because not only because we had so much time to integrate, and for me personally, I had a little layer come off, and then I integrate it, and I'm like, okay, cool. Then maybe 2, 3 more layers come off, and I integrate that. These people are having like 20 layers ripped clean off of them, and they're like
Yeah.
perceiving dimensions they didn't see before. But I don't feel like it's hard. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how they feel about it, but I feel like it's a natural thing. So maybe it's not as jarring because it's a natural state and you just wake up one morning and you're like, what dimension am I in today? Because what happened? Oh, Wendy said it's fun.
It's fun. What
Yeah,
is fun? Awakening. It's like
it's,
ripping off a band-aid. Yeah, I guess, yeah, I guess in a way it is.
he's like,
Yeah.
I can see shit now. Okay, cool. I like what I'm seeing. This all makes sense
Hmm?
now. Like now it's literally all making sense. And like I get
Yeah.
huge, Like I still get like huge layers ripped off. Like I think I know so much,
Yeah.
man. All these layers got ripped off, and I'm like, I literally know nothing. I know nothing. I know a small sliver of what
Oh
there
my
is to
God,
know.
that happened to me. Like that happened to me. We know, you know what I'm talking about. That I thought I knew a lot about a specific topic, and then it turned out I didn't know shit. I'm
Yes.
like, okay, I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have to be open to just learning and knowing that like there's always room to learn more because we're never gonna know it all. And new stuff, the higher that you get yourself in the higher octaves of like frequencies and vibrations, the more next level stuff is gonna come. And Dolores Cannon said that too. She's like, every time I thought I knew everything there was, I get another mind, what she
Yep.
called like a mind pretzel. Her mind would turn to a
Yeah, yeah,
pretzel
yeah.
with new information. And she's like, I thought I knew the wildest, craziest shit I could like ever be exposed to me, and now I know the next layer of it. Like you're always going to learn, and like after this lifetime we're going to see even more stuff when we go to other dimensions or whatever. Like we're constantly learning. We just know, I'm not saying we know little, but like we're just always going to know more. There's always more to learn.
Mhm.
There's always
It's
more
like
to go.
initiations, getting new
Yes,
initiations.
yes,
Like you're up leveling.
yes.
That's what's happening. That's what's been happening, I feel, since January. Like since January, especially, it's been like, okay, a new burst of energy, and everyone's getting these downloads, and like, phew, okay, new information, phew, a little more information, and it's been going very, it's been going at a very rapid pace since January.
Accelerating.
I've noticed for a lot of people, I feel.
For me, it was since the winter solstice. Like the
Mm.
acceleration is accelerating so like fast, and I'm meeting so many really cool people, and I was terrified to make Instagram and talk about this. It was so painfully hard for me to talk about this stuff, and at first I was just like trying to put my Slavic stuff out there and like kind of ease my way in by like sharing my Slavic culture and like the fairy tales and stuff because it to me it
And
felt
then
safer.
I made you do a podcast with me.
Yeah,
When
I started getting more
was that? A
comfortable.
year ago?
Yeah, it's been about a year.
About a year ago?
It's been a little like
Yeah, I said,
more
okay.
than a year.
Yeah, because we were talking, you and I were talking privately, and I said, you know a bunch of stuff. Why aren't you talking about this? Why aren't you making videos? I remember. And you're like, oh, I'm afraid. I am blah, blah, blah. I'm afraid of whatever excuses. And I'm like, okay, you're going on my podcast.
I was
And
so
then I
nervous.
remember because you said, is it audio or video? I said, no, it's audio only because that's back when I still did the pre-recorded podcasts. And that's why you agreed because you said, okay, I'll do it. And then it was a really good podcast. And then you started doing Instagram lives on your
Yeah,
own.
that was
And
so
then you started getting more vocal. And yeah, you know so much. You know a bunch of stuff.
I've been so used to keeping it to myself because I felt like I had no one to share it with.
Mhm.
And then I was just like, fuck it, I don't care. I'm just gonna share, and whoever resonates will resonate. And if they don't, I don't know what to
Mhm.
tell you. And now I don't care at all. I'm like blah 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 blah. But like I remember
Mhm.
I also went on a live with Ryan Montes, who's he's an NLP practitioner and he's a
Yeah.
hypnotherapy like teacher.
I
And
think about a week or two after you did the podcast with me is when you
yeah,
did that. Yeah.
because that was on Instagram. I was literally shaking the whole time me and him are talking. My hands were like the whole like 30 minutes. I was gonna have like a panic attack. But then like after I'm like, that went really well. I mean, it sounded interesting. I feel like it went well and like little baby steps. And I'm watching you talk on here and then I watched Mary Pat talk on here. And then it just helped me open up because I'm like, these are like my people and they're sharing the same stuff. I get the same information. I just don't share it. So I was like, maybe it is safe to share it because like my beautiful friends are sharing
Mhm.
it and they're out there doing it. I can do it too, I think. And like you and Mary Pat have been huge inspirations and like really helped me a lot. Just like open myself and not be so scared. Because for me, it was I'm like afraid of having too much power and doing bad with it, like what I do with in Atlantis. So I was carrying that for so long that like all the shame and guilt that I contributed to the fall, that I didn't want to have all this information and have the burden of like, because I know I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to destroy anything. And there's nothing I could even do to be able to destroy anything to the level like what we did in Atlantis. Not you and I, but like whatever the magicians did over there, because I was one of them, I guess. And I was doing like stuff with chimeras, and then you said you saw some interesting stuff with chimeras, what they're doing with like mermaids and like
Yeah, I've seen all kinds. I've seen about 3 different Atlantis lifetimes.
yeah.
That I was in 3 different Atlantis lifetimes, but Atlantis was like thousands of years,
Oh,
so it's perfectly possible for a person to have had multiple Atlantean lifetimes. Yeah, I saw one where they were like creating these mermaids, but like weird ones, like not really good ones. They're like freak weird, weird ones. And yeah, and they were like all miserable and not happy, and it's like a big sort of factory, and they were just pushing them out of this tube into the ocean, like dumping them, getting rid of them because they didn't want them anymore, and they just left them to die, like the ones that survived fine, and the ones that died, whatever. That's what I saw.
yeah, and I saw also that some were like forced to do that. Like even though it was against our will and we knew it was wrong, we were forced. Like we didn't have a choice. And I just had so much shame and guilt and sadness and sorrow for those creatures because they didn't ask to be created, and they're just discarded like trash. And they have souls and they were living, and we were doing these crazy experiments, and like it just breaks my heart. That's why now I get really upset that like people don't understand, like when you're getting pharmaceuticals, you're getting your medication, whatever. Do you know like the amount of trauma and torture animals go through in these trials to even get this stuff to you? And we think we're so advanced. We're not. That's not science. Science isn't torturing other animals to give us some kind of like a quick little pill. Like, and that's where it comes from for me. It's like Atlantis, like that shit pisses me off. Like that's not science. That's being a barbarian. Like there's natural ways of doing stuff. And I remember reading in Nostradamus too, that he thought doctors were so barbaric and so intrusive with the surgeries and stuff. And he's like, you can do the same stuff with energy. Like you don't have to cut someone open to do this kind of stuff. And I really hope I get to see a time and place where that kind of technology is brought back to where you understand how to do like psychic surgery instead of physical surgery. And I've actually had someone do that. I've had someone give me psychic surgery, and I felt like I was lulled to sleep. Like if someone gave me like a sedative, and I felt him remove this dark energy that was hurting my neck, and I'd come out of it and I feel like I was drugged and the pain was completely gone. And I know like this exists for so, like you can do that for anything. We are just like not tapping into it on a massive scale. At some point I really hope, because this is
so like with my past life regression, where I went to the Pleiades and I saw myself collecting the essence from the flowers without having to cut the flowers. Same thing.
Yes. Which is still possible. We need to tune ourselves to where the collective is at this frequency, but also they have free energy. And when you have the free energy beaming around everywhere, the ions in the air are different. The whole frequency of Earth shifts, and you become in a higher state of consciousness. And in the higher state of consciousness, you'll understand these things naturally. Like how you and I get like these random glimpses, and we just are like, aha, that's how it's done. It's like that on a world scale once we get to that kind of level. Someone said it absolutely exists. It sure as hell does exist. And the fact that so many people are remembering this kind of stuff now tells me we're going to be bringing it back. And not like in our future lifetimes for our grandchildren. Like we are going to have to see something, because we are remembering it for a reason. We're not remembering for it to happen several lifetimes down the line.
And also all these people are coming back. You and I have talked about that already. All these people that were connected in Atlantis, they are coming back in the same dynamic. They're kind of coming back to replay these roles in the same dynamic, in the reverse way.
Yes.
So they are healing the trauma that happens. They're basically undoing the trauma. They're unraveling the trauma and healing it and restoring they're claiming back what they lost.
Yes.
That's what they're doing.
I think that's what we're going to talk about. Reclaiming stuff that we've lost in Atlantis. The knowledge, the information, the people, the relationships, the bonds, like all of that. I'm sure my cat was from there too.
Yeah. And lately Atlantis has been really coming up for me, and I was never really all Atlantis this, Atlantis that,
Oh, I
but
was.
it's been coming up a lot. But yeah,
And
it's been coming up a lot.
I did see a glimpse of me and you in like an Avalon, or maybe it wasn't Avalon, maybe it was just medieval times, but I was like your brother, and you had on this really long yellow dress, and we were about to go to battle, and I had my sword.
I remember you told me that.
It was
Yeah.
like the eve of battle, and like I don't know who you and I were, but I was for sure your brother. And it's like the
Yeah,
sun
but
is
I
showing up.
actually, that's one of the very first past life memories that I had when I was a child. I that's one of the first memories I had was a field, like some kind of like a meadow, a field, and
Yeah.
like tall grass, and everyone was really quiet.
Yes.
And we were waiting for something
Yes.
to happen, and
Yes.
you could tell that we were waiting for something that was going to happen,
It's on the
and it was
precipice.
just silence and wind and tension in the air.
Yes. That's how it was.
And
Like
I
the sun was
remember
coming up.
I remember in that experience, because I saw myself, I saw other people, and then I was like transported to another scene where I was witnessing everything from above, like this whole battle, but I was not there anymore. I was already witnessing it from another place. So I died, I guess I died, and I was just witnessing it from somewhere else.
All I saw was the eve of the battle. And like I had my sword in my waist, and there was people like soldiers all around. You were in like a gallant, like this beautiful like yellow dress.
Fighting in a dress.
It was like it felt Celtic or something. And we were just there. We're like, we're not giving this up. I felt like we were like defending something, and like you could feel it in the air, and we weren't gonna give it up even if we had no chance.
Well, I've had a lot of warrior lifetimes. I've had a lot
Same.
of lifetimes where I was in battle because I remember a lot of those. And well, where is she? Let me see if I can see that one over there. That's me.
Was that the
Yeah.
first one you did?
Yeah, that's the
The
very
first one.
first, because I'll tell you the story. For people that are, that's how I rolled into the Akashic Records work. That was a very spontaneous flashback to a past life. To that past life. Where is she? Over there. I was having a conversation with my now ex-husband, and we're talking. I think I told you this, but for people that are watching this, suddenly everything changes, like time slowed down, and it's like I was in this moment where everything stopped, and I was kind of taken out of the moment, and there was like an overlay of a different scenario, like everything changed around me, and he changed, and it was him, but he looked different,
Yeah.
and I was different, and the situation was different, and suddenly we were discussing something, and it was the situation that triggered the memory of the past life, and we were discussing some like a next step that had to happen in some kind of a battle or like conflict with another tribe. And I was that lady. I was the druid for the tribe, and they were always like consulting me first before anything had to happen. They had to consult me, and I had to make the decisions. And yeah, then I went into that past life, and I consciously started working with the Akashic Records. And because it was all just kind of happening spontaneously, and then I just realized I can actually kind of guide this process. And that's how I started just asking questions, and I was shown, and I realized what I had to do to kind of steer the process. So yeah, that's how it happened for me.
Yeah, I've had that like where I meet people or like I'm with someone and I get glimpses or like I feel like I'm transported back in time. Like there's this one hotel in Riverside, California. It's called Mission Inn, and I shit you not, I walked in there and I went under like this little bridge, and I literally went back to my lifetime in the 1920s. Like I had walked that pathway, and literally I felt like I was that tall man who I was in the 20s, and it was him walking, and I was embodying him. And then just like that, I looked down and it's me again. And like I felt the energy of it. And when I went to the Winchester mansion too, like I got hella glimpses of what it looked like then. Like I could see as if I went back in time, and I see the hustle and bustle in the house. and the cooks and the maids and people cleaning and doing the dishes. And as I'm there, I'm like seeing it play out. But then I'm like, and then I see it's just empty and it's, you know, restored and whatnot. You get glimpses because there's energy that lives there. And like, that's happened for sure. For me, it's a lot of times it's places. It's happened with people too. Like this one person I was dating, and every time I'd look at him, I saw him in like Revolutionary War, like war outfit with like as a red coat. And I'd be like, I swear to God, I see you like that. He's like, I would never be a red coat. I'm like, you were though.
Yeah.
You're just experiencing the other perception of it in this lifetime. Balance that out. But you were a red coat. I saw you. Yeah.
Yeah, there's somebody, I can't remember who it was, but somebody that I was talking to a while ago, and I can't remember who it was, but they had a client that was like very much into social justice stuff and like like against all the stuff that's basically going on now with all the like the Native Americans and all. Like he was really like, okay, they need to like get their land back, they need to get more rights, they need way more than they're getting now, and they were really vocal about it. And yeah, but then that guy saw or that the healer saw a past life where he was a colonizer,
Yeah.
where he was basically a landowner and a slave owner or something. And he was really upset and frustrated, and he basically like he couldn't handle that information. He couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
But we have to experience both sides of the coin to get the full spectrum.
Just like I destroyed Atlantis and here I am to bring it back. Like you're gonna play the villain sometimes. Just because you're a good personality doesn't mean that you weren't a villain before, or like, you know, the stereotype of a villain. You're gonna be playing on both sides. Like I was a Roman soldier, and I would never pillage and set people's houses on fire now. But
I really hope you didn't kill me.
I don't feel like,
because you're my friend, I really hope that didn't happen.
And if it did, then we healed our karma.
Yeah, well, whatever. That's in the past.
I can tell you hate the Romans.
In the past.
I loved that lifetime. Even though I got murdered in it, like to me, it was a pleasant lifetime. But a lot of people don't like the Romans back then.
Yeah, but that's the thing. When I had these, because I have memories of the like warrior lifetimes where I was fighting and stuff, and I have memories of them. I can recall the memories like that right now. I can go back in there and see myself, and I was comfortable. I was good at it, and I was not like now. It's a struggle to like embrace this female body sometimes.
Yes.
But I've had about 50% of my lifetimes were as a male and 50% were a female. So I had kind of a balanced situation. But there's some people have had more male lifetimes, and other had like, yeah. And it's 50-50. Like with me, it's about half and half.
I think it's 70-30 or like 65-35 with me, something like that.
But you were a female in Lyra.
Yeah, that's it. And I can't see that. The only lifetime I've seen where I was a woman was 2 lifetimes ago, like during the Revolutionary War. That's the only lifetime that I've for sure. And I've seen myself as a cave woman, like way back during the you know, when all that stuff happened during the Ice Age. I saw myself as a cave woman. So I've seen 2 lifetimes as a woman, and the majority I've seen as a man. But I know that I've been a woman before too. I just have blocks, and I think it's because I have major blocks against feminine energy and being feminine and embodying that. So I can't tap into it because I still have reservations and blocks from I don't know what. Like Gigi Young said that a lot of people have aversion to that because in Mu or Lemuria, like they thought that the men who wanted to be like the women, like tapping into the energies, being the oracles, that there was something wrong with them mentally, and they like excluded the men. They talked down to them. They like how men treat women now is how women treated men way back then. And so a lot of souls had a grudge against that. I'm like, I wonder if that's what it is.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I've heard her talk about that, and I agree a little bit, like in the beginning, because like Mu, Lemuria, Mu, but that's like the same thing again with the tones. Lemuria is the name they gave the civilization later. That's what they came up with. Like science came up with that name. The original name is more closely connected to the tone of Mu, which is like mother, mother energy, Mu.
Yes.
And it was a matriarchal society, like she says, Gigi Young says it's a matriarchal society. And in the beginning there was balance.
Yes.
In the beginning there was balance, and everyone respected everyone, and everyone cooperated, but Mu existed for such a long time that the energies started to shift, and in the beginning it was perfect harmony.
Yes.
And men and women were creating together. I have memories of, well, in the regression, then I saw these memories and it was really beautiful and it was harmonious. And then near the end, then then it started getting kind of disharmonious, and yeah, that's all coming back now, of course, in the reverse way. So yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But we're healing all of that stuff right now.
And also,
everyone is
probably
waking up.
A woman in that Lyran lifetime probably did some like psychological stuff on me too, because the trauma that I faced as a woman, maybe I was like, I don't want to be a woman, because like I don't know what the hell happened, but from what you said, like they like put me in suspended animation and forced me to watch what they were doing to the children, and because like I was like teaching them, like that probably really traumatized me, and I was probably like, from now on I'm gonna be a man, or like I'll feel safer as a man or something.
That's what happened to me. That's what I now realized. I only figured out a month ago, because then I was like, okay, why do I enjoyed being a man. I enjoyed going into battle. I enjoyed having swords and all that stuff. Like, why? And I felt good at it. It was not complicated. It was easy. I was good at it. Like, okay, but why? But then all these female lifetimes that I've had, I've either been stoned, I've been thrown off a bridge, I've been
persecuted and murdered.
Yeah. What else? Yeah. Tortured. So yeah.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
And then I was probably like, well, that sucks. I don't want to do that anymore.
Right. Because like the lifetimes I've had as a man were really powerful lifetimes. So for me, maybe it's like a safety thing, which makes a lot of sense. Safety is like the number one thing I have to get over in this lifetime. It's like the number one trigger. And it rocked my world at a really young age. So safety is like I think like a soul lesson in this lifetime is safety, and being safe in any body, especially, you know, little old me, without like having to be like put on extra weight to feel safe. So that's for sure.
But that's coming up for a lot. I feel like that is something that's coming up for like 50% of the people that I work with, either in readings or with coaching. 50% of them have trouble with like feeling safe in their body.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's the thing that comes up, and that manifests as having money problems, manifests as having physical problems in your like womb area.
Yeah.
Manifests as having problems with your parents, like ancestral problems, stuff like that. And 50% of the time it has to do with not feeling safe in your body or on the planet.
And that makes a lot of sense why I don't feel safe, because they literally destroyed my home and my children and all the children I was in charge of. Just like literally just destroyed and tortured and murdered them. So like no wonder.
You're laughing like it's funny.
No, it's just like it's because it's such like an epiphany, because it's just like an aha moment. Like, duh, that makes perfect sense. That's where that's coming from.
Oh yeah.
Perfect freaking.
That's the same thing with me. Like, I had this major download come to me a month ago. You know, I've told you the story, of course, where I saw how I got separated from somebody very important to me. We got separated, and basically my whole family was killed. And yeah, so that's Atlantis. But I've seen other lifetimes where stuff happens to me and I'm like, whatever, just kill me. Like, I don't care.
Right.
Like how I was thrown off of the bridge and I'm like, okay, fine, here we go again, I guess. Like, it's just me. You're just doing something to me. I don't care. But then I saw them doing stuff to all these other people.
Yes.
And that's probably where the block was for me,
Yeah.
that I wasn't able to see. But I've noticed that since I saw that, everything has opened up even more. And like my energy has shifted even more. And that's why for now, for everyone, well, for a lot of people, these major blocks are being lifted. This new energy is allowing for people to clear more stuff and to release more stuff and more blocks.
Yeah. Yeah, I might have to go find a really good past life regressionist who specializes in like galactic stuff. I found one guy. Maybe I'll go to him. But like, I really want to see that Lyran lifetime. Like when I was reading what you wrote, I could see the pictures in my head. But like, if I try to tap into it outside of reading it, I can't. Like it's nothing. Like a gray wall is there. I can't see shit. So I mean, if my guides allowed you to tap into my records and give me that information, then I must be on some level ready, even for like a piece of it. Otherwise, it wouldn't have come to you at all.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to see it. So.
No, and I was able to see it right away. I saw it right away.
And you said I was like, because when you were describing it, I could see it too. Like I had skin that looks like a human, but like light blonde furs or something. But like the skin itself was
like the portrait.
Yeah. So not like human skin, obviously with a hybrid of a
thicker,
lion, like thicker. Like,
yeah,
it just goes in thicker. And did I have a human nose?
Yeah.
Or was it like a kitty nose?
No, it's more like flat. Yeah, like in the portrait, it's kind of in between.
Yeah. It'd be interesting. God, I want to see myself like physically moving as that person. Did I have a tail? Tell me I had a tail. I want a tail so bad.
Yeah.
From the earliest,
I think you did.
Since I was a little tiny kid, I always wanted a tail. I wanted to like swing it around and like have it there. So that's really interesting. Wow. I want to see what that lifetime was like. And then when you said I like collapsed in Andromeda, I saw that. I saw myself like come out of the ship and just like exhausted.
Oh,
like,
don't talk about that, because I saw that and I cried. Don't bring that up. Oh. No, because that's the thing. Because when I do readings for people that I care about, that I've developed a friendship with, then I will get sucked into the moment and I feel all the emotions. And I remember when I saw that scene that I was basically standing over, like you're sitting there all like breaking down, and I'm trying to help you and I couldn't really do anything. Yeah. Of course.
After what I just saw.
But that was the beginning of our friendship. I was an Andromedan that was, I basically assisted you and helped you in rebuilding your life and like gaining new knowledge, and you learned all about the Akashic records, and then you went on to become a galactic traveler.
Yeah. I was like, my home is gone. I guess I'll just travel. I'll just go to intergalactic.
Be a nomad. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And then you decided to come back to Earth.
Now I've been here fucking forever. But you know, you've mentioned Antares on the first reading you did for me with my spirit guide. And then and then you mentioned Antares with my fiance. Because that's just a portal, right? That's like the portal between. So that must
you have. I don't have my map. I don't have my star map that I made. Oh, it's Anyway, there's all the different constellations, and then over here we have Antares, and basically it's like a little, like you have gates at the airport, or you have terminals. You have terminals at the airport. Then there's all these different terminals, and there's always this one terminal that connects two different ones, like the one that's furthest, like all the way in the back of the airport. Yeah. And then you have all the rest of them. And then there's this one that connects them. That's what Antares is. It's like the connecting terminal that connects our galaxy to the Andromeda galaxy. There's also Andromeda constellation, but that's another thing. That's a constellation within our galaxy, and then the Andromeda galaxy is our neighbor.
That's where I'm confused. So were we on the
And
galaxy, or we were on
and no, we were in the Andromeda constellation
constellation?
here in our galaxy.
God, my mind can't grasp it. I've asked you this 1,000 times, and it
And then
doesn't.
what you did, oh, there's the Antares, and you went through Antares constellation because you had to use it in your travels to go to to the Andromeda galaxy, parallel universes, and travel.
Hmm. That's. Hey, I had a random question. Do you think every single person gets a dragon, or is it just people who are going to be, who've had lifetimes with them before, or who are in these realms? Like, who gets a dragon? Do my brother and sister have dragons, or is it people that are actively in this like galactic war that's like on some other level? Like,
Well, I can give you an answer what comes through, but
yeah,
then again, but I don't know. Maybe Chris knows better. But then again, I think if I would give you an answer right now, Chris would probably receive the same answer because we're kind of linked when it's about dragons. We're linked. So what was the question? If everyone gets a dragon guide,
yeah.
let me see if anything comes through. Now everyone gets a dragon, but in the past, not everyone would have a dragon. But now, if you are here in this lifetime and you're spiritually waking up, you definitely have a dragon.
Interesting. They're like a guardian.
Yeah,
Like,
and they're also like you travel with them.
yes.
Any spiritual traveling that you do is with your dragon guide.
I had this one dream where I was walking in like this like jungle forest, and there was this huge egg, and it was cracking and like, coming to life, and it was abandoned, and it was like a little red pterodactyl, and I took it in and I cared for it, and it turned into this huge massive one, but I would ride it, and like it was my baby, and it called me mom and stuff, even though it was like 20 zillion times bigger than me. But like we were traveling around together, and I was like, it didn't feel like a dream, because sometimes you wake up and you don't think it's like dreams or stuff that you've put in your subconscious from whatever you've watched. It's just straight up like you went somewhere in your dreams, and that was one of them. And I wonder, they must be connected to dinosaurs too, because it's like that same time frame over there, or I don't know.
There's this thing on TikTok. You've seen it, I know you have, where they're like the T-Rex is not they didn't just have the tiny arms, but they're
They were
actually
dragon.
dragon wings.
Yeah,
Did you see that
I
on
think I sent
TikTok?
that
Have you
to you.
seen that before?
Yes,
Think maybe you're the one that sent me that
I
video, but
think
I've
so.
seen it.
Because it wasn't like the
But
little hands. That's where like the wings started, and like the wings
mm,
expand from there.
yeah,
Yeah, I sent that.
yeah,
That
because
was
it
like,
wouldn't make any sense for them to have like tiny weird arms. It makes no sense.
what's the God?
Yeah.
And that's the other. That's one of the things that Dolores Cannon said. We're going to find information about dinosaurs that's completely different than anything we've heard during those
Mm.
times. So like we're on the precipice,
My phone is about to die. Oh my God.
huh?
Okay.
Oh, your phone's
That
about to
my
die.
phone is about to die in a little bit, so I'm afraid we're gonna have to, well, in a little, like maybe in 10 minutes or 15 minutes. We
Okay.
still have a little bit of time.
Yeah, just let me know when I can wrap up whenever. This was a
Yeah.
every
No,
time.
but there's all kinds of information coming up now that hasn't been come, and there will still be more information. Yeah, like whatever happened with that full disclosure stuff. Wasn't there going to be full disclosure in July? That never happened.
We're the full disclosure. No one's gonna
Yeah,
anything that's gonna come out through there is gonna be skewed and like tainted and
I know.
like if that disclosure came out, I wouldn't even click on those headlines. I'd be like, mm-hmm, cool. I've been
I would out of curiosity because I want to know what I have to correct.
yeah.
Like if people are like some story is going around that is just wrong, then I need to know what I have to address and correct online. That's
Yeah.
why I would watch it.
That would piss me off. Like they're gonna skew it, twist it, turn it, make it something it's not, as usual. The reign is ending because the energy on Earth is just too high for the lies to exist. Like the lies.
All kinds of stuff. And then that reminds me, that might be them also just trying to come through. Like what also is going to start to come out because everyone's now okay, aliens great, and star seeds and all that, but like the whole hybrid children chapter,
That's like a whole
the
nother
hybrid
conversation.
children. Yeah, and even within the spiritual community, it's controversial to talk about hybrid children.
Yes. I mean, it definitely
But
makes sense.
they
It's just connect. It's
yeah,
the same thing
it's
to parallel lifetimes where you have children over there, or like you're just connecting to different points of like space, which we call time.
hmm.
You're just tapping into different things. But Miroslava posted about that. She put like a little portrait of her daughter, I think, her hybrid child.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna do a live with her in a while, in a few like months maybe, because she's collecting more information about her.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's no, it's not from her that I learned about that. It's from Bridget Nielsen that I learned about the hybrid children. And yeah, and it was crazy because I remember in the beginning I was very resistant to the whole concept of the hybrid children, very resistant. But then, of course, then I started learning more and more about it. And then they started communicating with me. And then, of course, I had to accept, okay,
Yeah.
that it's an actual, that they're real.
Yeah. I haven't had experience with that yet. But like my galactic stuff is just blocked. Blocked. I think I just need to go to a therapist myself because like I try and try, but when I have a block, sometimes it's just easier to have someone else guide it, so I don't have to guide myself and try to be in that like state. Sometimes it's just easier to have someone put you in it.
Mhm.
Just it is.
That's why I had the hypnotherapy session with you, because I could easily go into my own Akashic records and see my own past lives. But it was still nice in a way to have you guide me through the process.
Right.
And I was able to see things that I didn't know. I got new information that I didn't know about myself. So
Yeah. Sometimes it's just nice. It's like treating yourself. It's like, oh, you get a massage. Like I can do this to myself, but if someone else does it, it feels better. Like I don't have to think about it.
speaking
I
of which,
just
I have to get another session with you because there's more information that I want to dive into, but that maybe I can't do on my own or have blocks. So yeah, I definitely have to get another hypnotherapy session one of these weeks, months coming up.
yes. Just let me know.
Who knows what'll come up now?
Let me know. I'm down. And anyone else who wants past life regression or has ever been curious, highly suggest it. It's such a
Yep.
transformative like experience to see yourself in another body, in another space and time, in another lifetime. And like it's all connected. So it's really interesting. And then also if you're like afraid or like you're not quite ready for that, portraits are amazing. And like what Deborah does, because she sees exactly what you would see. And like I know you're legit because I saw how you did it. And that's all my soul kept saying. She's legit. She's legit. She's legit seeing that because I saw that you're like in a portal and you're in the records and you're just writing and drawing what you're seeing. And like, it's really
Yeah.
amazing. It's so amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, I was tuning in. You were sleeping and I was tuning into your energy. No, were you sleeping?
I
Were
was
you awake?
falling asleep like in that in-between state and I saw you and I'm like, okay, she's in there. Cool. And then I saw what you were doing and then I went.
You basically connected and saw that I was in your Akashic records.
Yep.
You perceived me in your Akashic records, and you saw that I opened an energy portal
Yep.
and called in the information.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you told me, and I was like, whoa, that's really cool.
I saw you sitting on a chair and you had like light, like pillars and then above was like my records and you were pulling the information through the light.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I saw.
Yeah, that's what it feels like too, because I call upon the central sun and I see this beam of light that connects me to the sun and to the earth, and then I call in the information. Yeah,
That's what I saw.
I have no idea how like other Akashic Records readers do it. I have no idea what their protocol is or how they do it. I just know that that's the way I do it, and it seems to work for me. So
yes, everyone's gonna have their own pathway. Like I'm sure other hypnotherapists use different techniques and stuff, and I kind of just let my gut guide me. I meditate before I do it first to put myself in like a heightened state, and then I just I'm guided to, every session's different for everyone. Like I don't have a script where I'm sitting there reading for the same thing. I kind of just let whatever is for that person come through. And then I guide them with what my gut says, because everyone's going to have a completely different experience and the way they react to it. Some people cry, some people show no emotion. Like I get intuitional like guides of what and how to proceed to the next step and the next step and what questions to ask and how to guide people and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're intuitively connected to their energy, so it's going to be a very personal and intuitive hypnotherapy session.
Very intuitive for sure. And I just open up my energy, and like I used to give them in person like way back when, and I'd always meditate to open up the space first, and people would always comment when they come in, they're like, this room feels really good, like it feels really peaceful in here. I'm like, good, because we're about to go in, we're going into them records. Like, I always cleanse the space, and I open up the space, and I call in my guides and block out, like I put an auric field up and block out any bad energies or attachments, and we just have a nice clean space to work in, because that's important. I want people to feel safe and guided, because it's vulnerable. Like it's vulnerable to trust someone to guide you into the state to go into an Akashic record. Like you got to have a little trust with that person. So I try my very best to cultivate very safe, open space for people.
And that's why I was perfectly comfortable having a regression with you, because I know you and I feel comfortable with you, and that's why I was able to just trust you, and then like that's why I had a really good regression experience with you, I'm sure. Yeah.
Trust is a big thing, because if you're not going to trust, your energy's not going to open it. You're not going to be able to experience to the depth. So it's really important to cultivate like that sense of trust, and like I got you. No matter what you're seeing, I got you. We can figure this out. Like I know.
Yeah, and that's what I do with my readings too. I tell people, like, I'm not like, oh yeah, this and this and this and this, bye, see you never again, thanks for your money, or you know, I don't do that. But I let them know that, because it's very like vulnerable, you're putting yourself in a very vulnerable position if you let me access your energy. And then I am going to mirror it back to you and tell you, look, this is all the stuff that's you. All of this is you. And it triggers a lot of stuff in people. And then I tell them, look, if there's any questions, if you want to talk about anything that's in your reading, it doesn't matter. No question is ever silly or stupid. If you have questions, you want anything clarified, let me know. I'm still here. This is not a connection that is just like a one-time thing. If you have a question, let me know. Because I know that that's a process of integration, and it goes slowly over weeks and months sometimes before you fully integrate all that information.
Yeah. Actually,
what's happening?
I had a quick question before we go. Actually, my phone's dying too.
Yeah, because my phone is about to die. I guess that's what that beep thing was.
I'll text you the question later then.
Oh no, you can still ask. I have like 10% or something left.
A quick one. So like, let's say I want to get a reading of my cat of like our past life. How do you ask him for permission to get into his records? Like, do you just like beam to him and be like, hey, is it okay if I do record reading for Allison to see your past life? Or like how, because I want to see me and him in Lyra, but like how do you ask him for permission?
Well, I did an animal communication reading with him, so you could just ask him verbally and I could ask him telepathically.
Okay.
But the thing is, animals, they will probably give their permission, because they don't have the blocks in place that we have in place, the ego. They don't have the egoic blocks. Oh no, I don't want you to see me. I don't want you to know me. I don't want you to see my essence. Like, we think we are safe behind this wall that we put in place, but pets don't have that. Cats and dogs, they're like, here, this is me, and this is all of me, and I want you to know who I am.
Okay, because I'm considering getting a reading with a portrait. I want to see him, because you say he was my brother. I want to see us together. I want to see
Lyran self.
I want to see that.
I saw him already. Well, I saw glimpses of him because it was all about you. I was focused on you, but I did see glimpses of him.
Was he like orange, like me, and like a lion color?
Yeah. He looked like you. Yeah, similar.
Yeah,
Very similar.
I think I want to get a reading, and I want to see. I would like for you to tap into the lifetime from his perspective and his soul's version of what happened, and our relationship in that lifetime and what we look like and stuff. Because when the second I saw him, like, I wanted to cry in this lifetime, because like I remember him, and he remember. I'm
Yeah.
crying right now. He remembers me too. Like, we're soulmates, and I want to see. I want to
But
see.
somebody, yeah, actually today somebody emailed me and they asked me, can pets be humans and then choose to be a pet again? Because I know that some books, like The Law of One materials, says that you have to go through the levels of density, and that second density beings then graduate to third density beings, and they can't go back to becoming an animal, but I don't really buy into that, because time doesn't exist and anything is possible because time doesn't exist. So you can basically choose an experience as a human being, then you can go back, choose an experience as an animal, and it doesn't matter. Linear time doesn't exist. You can choose whatever suits your soul's need at the time.
That makes sense. Yeah, I
I think.
already made a contract that my very next lifetime, I want to be a cloud. Like, I want to know what it feels like to be like a misty, cool cloud floating by, and I'm gonna make myself into shapes for people and like show off my cool little shapes. I'll be a dolphin, a cat, and stuff. Like, I'm gonna be a cloud on my next lifetime, but like as my in between break of a lifetime, like, because everyone needs a little break. My break, I want to be a freaking cloud. And I want to be a cloud for a hot minute and just float around and show myself to people and just be like a misty, cool.
My break, if I get a break, because I don't know, I'm always, lately I've been joking that I probably was drunk or something when I signed my soul contract, like all these challenges. I would never agree to any of this if I was sober, so. But yeah, my next lifetime is going to be on Sirius, and I'm going to be swimming with the dolphins there, and communicating with the whales, and just like swimming underwater, living underwater. That's what I'm going to do.
Take a nice break from these challenges of being a human and having to transmute and clear and like create a new earth. Like, just let me be a cloud for a little bit. I just want to be a cloud. That's all I want. For like maybe 200 to 400
My
years.
phone.
Be a cloud.
I'm gonna have to get going,
So
or otherwise it's gonna die, and then I can't save this video, and then I'm gonna be upset.
Yes, it's almost 2 hours anyway.
But yeah, but we had a great conversation. We're gonna definitely gonna do this again soon, and we talk every day anyway.
Yeah.
And for people listening or watching this, I hope that this was of value, that you got something out of it. If you have any questions about hypnotherapy, then message Allison at Atlantis Rising Crystals. If you want to know anything about the Akashic Records, message me. If you want to know anything about just how we can help you with hypnotherapy sessions, message her. Or if you want a reading or just want to know more about the Akashic Records, you can look on my website or message me or whatever. And if you've watched the whole almost 2 hours of this, then I really hope that this was valuable and that you got something out of it. Okay, well, I had a great conversation with you, and next time we'll have to invite Chris, and we can have like a triple conversation.
That's gonna be hard to end in 2 hours, but we can try.
We'll see, yeah, and we may have to do part 1 and then part 2 or something, so we'll have to see.
Probably. All right, awesome. I'll talk to you later. And thank you,
okay.
everyone.
I'll see you. Bye.
Bye.